so this is the second part of my favorite books and series of 2020. This one is all of my favorite series. I either completed the series, I didn't necessarily complete all of the books in the series. Some of them I did though, and obviously some of them aren't finished yet, so I think there's only one that's not finished. Oh, two. Okay, so the first one we have is Death Note. This is by Tsugami Oba. This is a manga series. It's great because you have to read it backwards. Now, this was my first time that I read a manga, and of all the mangas that I read this year, this was my favorite. This is about a Shinigami, which is a Japanese god of death, who basically gets bored. Hi, buddy. Here's Caesar. Here's Caesar. Guess all the pets want it. Go on. Go on. Lay down. Go on. Lay down. Lay down, buddy. Okay, go on. Go on. So anyway, this is about a Shinigami named Ryuk who basically gets bored one day, and he has what they call a death note, as all the Shinigami have, and he decides he's going to throw it into the human world and cause some problems. It's found by a boy named Light, who his original purpose for the death note was that he was going to rid the world of evil by using it to kill everyone, that like all the murderers and rapists and all the horrible people of the world. And that's what he kind of set out to do. It was very fascinating. Okay, so basically you write someone's name in the death note, and within 1 minute they have a heart attack and die. So and his plan is to rid the world of evil, but in doing so, does he become what he is trying to rid the world of? So I guess that's the question you could answer. Thought it was great, had a nice plot, it was awesome. Highly recommend. Next series is The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, and the last 3 books were also co-written by Brandon Sanderson. This is kind of a classic fantasy. This is the 3rd time that I've attempted to read it, and I finally finished it. I finally just had to know what happened. I did not like every book in this series. Obviously, like Crossroads of Twilight and Winter's Heart. Some of them were really painful to get through, but it was all worth it in the end. This is kind of a classic good versus evil. You have your hero, who is the ultimate hero of all time, up against the ultimate bad guy of all time. There was a lot of cultural stuff that you found in here. Things from Vikings, things from a lot of like religious references and stuff. So it was very expansive, a great world. I highly recommend it, and if you're in one of those hard books, just keep pushing. Alright. Next. Okay. So the next one is A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. This series is not finished, and now I can join the many of fans who are waiting for the next book. And there's been rumors that it's coming out, but, you know, I'm not holding my breath. I have to say the books were much better than the TV series. The characters were much more in depth. What I liked about his writing in his books were that no matter what character you're following, you really feel like you're in their head and you understand why they make the choices that they make, even though they make horrible choices. Also, a lot of times in series, like you have a kid who's trying to rebel against his parents because his parents are horrible. But let's face it, in reality, if your mom was Cersei, you're gonna be Joffrey. That's just the way it is. More likely than to be somebody else. So it's great. If you don't like to read series that are not finished, I would say don't read it. Otherwise, go ahead and read it. It was a good time. And, you know, here's hoping that eventually someday it gets finished. Okay, the next series was called An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. This was a young adult fantasy. It follows a girl whose brother has been... Alright, so Ember in the Ashes, Saba Tahir. It's a young adult fantasy. It follows, it has like kind of a dual perspective in the first book, and then as it goes on, it has more perspectives. There's a girl whose brother was captured and is in prison, and she's trying to save him. And then there's a guy who, he's what they call a mask, and he doesn't want to be a mask, and he is in competition to be the leader. And, well, obviously things don't go as planned. Okay. The next series is The Locked Tomb. Right now there's 2 books done in the series. I think the 3rd one comes out this year. I enjoyed the first one, Gideon the Ninth. The second one, Harold the Ninth, was a little weird, but it ended okay. This one is... well, the first one, the one that I enjoyed, was about these 2 girls, and they are part of the 9th house, and their house is falling, and so they have to go join these group of people to become immortals, and there's necromancy, and it turns into kind of a murder mystery, but it was a fun time. I thought Gideon was a hilarious character. I laughed a lot. It was probably inappropriate at times, though, like most of the time. But it was good. I liked the first one. I would suggest you read it. Number 6 was The Poppy War. I read the first 2 books. I have the 3rd one, but I haven't read it yet. This one is kind of a military fantasy. It's also based kind of in China, and some of like the wars and things that they had there. It's really brutal. It's about a girl who decides she doesn't want to have an arranged marriage, so she decides she's gonna go be a soldier. The things about this that were kind of engaging, that you when reading through her perspective, it makes you think like, so this is like the plan that she had for her life, simply because she didn't want to have an arranged marriage, so she made other choices, and they didn't turn out so well. It's kind of her slow descent into madness. Okay, the last one in my series is The One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate. I read the first 2 books. I don't know if there's going to be any more. But they were just cute. They're kind of children's books, children's middle grade, about based on a true story of an ape, Ivan, who was held in as a sideshow at a mall, and it was just a great story about friendship and trying to work hard toward, you know, helping people that you care about. Even if you don't always end up getting the things that you want. I saw the movie. The movie was okay, but, you know, in the book, at least he threw poop at people. That's what apes do. Okay. Alright, so that's the last one for the series.